Hello viewers, now the trading game is always trying to keep one step ahead of you, and it's your job to try and keep up and run past it. Now the world of trading at the moment, is moving heavily towards automation, even down into the retail sector. The tools there are available for you to come up with some great strategies, get an edge and get ahead. How can you do that though? Well, the most popular tool at the moment is using Python. There are a lot of off the shelf stuff, but if you want true control, it's Python. So you've got to start somewhere, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can put together very quickly and easily your first candlestick chart, add some indicators on it, make it tradable, take you through step by step what you need to know, plus I'm throwing in a whole load of other interesting bits, offers, ideas for you to take away and use, and hopefully, like I say, get you ahead of the game. So with that, let's jump into it. So first things first, what are the tools that we need to do to get this working? Well, I'm working in VS Studio. That's where I put all the code, but I'm going to have to download some specific packages for this program to work. So let's take a quick look at those and what they actually do and mean. So let's get into what we've got to do first. We've got to set up our basic tools for building our chart in Python, and we're going to need to install a few core libraries. You might have already these on your computer if you've already been playing around with Python, but we're basically including Yahoo Finance, pandas, mplfinance, numpy and matplotlib. Like I said, simple installation. This is the code you would need to install those for. Let's quickly just go through what each one does. Well, Yahoo Finance, it's our data feed. It's going to let us pull the free historical price is straight from Yahoo Finance. In this instance Tesla. Pandas, call that our data wrangler. It's going to turn all those raw prices into a table, so it's easy to clean, calculate on and visualize. Numpy, that's the brains, the maths behind our indicators. In this instance, going to be lightning quick with things like moving averages and rolling windows. mplfinance, it's a specialist library. It's going to create professional candlestick and multi-panel trading charts like RSI, Bollinger, volume, all very presentable as well. And then finally matplotlib, sitting underneath everything as the actual plotting engine. It's what physically draws the charts and allows us to customize and display them inside VS Code. So that's what you need to do. You need to get them on your PC inside of Python. I'm going to head now into Visual Studio to show you what to do next. So right, I'm now heading into VS Studio where all the magic happens, all the coding, where we get our candlestick chart from. I've just set up a simple new file, quite easy to do for this project. Called it candlestick_demo.py, and now let's start putting together the code. Right, so we're into the code where the magic happens, and to make it a bit easier for you guys, I've used the hashtag comment function here in Python. You see that in the green there, where I've added in lots and lots of comments by all the code, so you can stop the video and understand what's going on by line. Hopefully that'll help it, or help make it easier for you guys to learn. But if we start at the very top, we've got our standard library imports and third-party libraries. We've discussed all those already, why we've got them in there. The numpy for let's call it our maths side of stuff, pandas for the data frame tables, the Yahoo Finance to get the data, mplfinance for the charts, etc. So that's the key critical tool section of our code. Notice also I've broken the code out by what we'll call modules. I've labeled them numerically. You can see number one there, config, what to fetch and where to save. So what does this section tell us about what's going on? Well, this is an area where you're sort of laying out the parameters. We're going to chart Tesla. We're going to pick our time frames and the intervals in daily bars where the output is going to go. A bit of printing information there. And like I said, check out those hashtag comments to follow the script in more detail. Now, this next section of code actually makes up probably the bulk of the code, actually. I've called it normalize, make yfinance output predictable for mplfinance. Well, what do I actually mean by that? Well, different versions of yfinance, for example, shape the columns a little differently. This normalizing section flattens any multi-index headers, standardizes column names to like the classic OHLCV, open, high, low, close, volume, forces numeric types and drops incomplete rows. So it's going to guarantee mplfinance gets exactly what it wants. And as you can see, it's a big part of the code, and you can see all that code in there, and I've again hashtagged it out there. So you can see how we've solved little niggles with sort of cleaning up the data to make it just right for our chart that we're trying to create. And then that leads us on to point 4. As you can see, it's just creating the basic candlestick chart. You can see what all the nuts and bolts are in building this sort of chart, from all the inputs, volume, style, title, the labels. It's all in there, and a bit about the output as well. Basically saving here a clean chart. Before we move on to adding indicators, we're going to put volume on the chart, and we don't want it like flashing up on the screen because I've put that in the code later on so we can see the end output. But it's basically going to go and save off a version for this that you might want to use for some other purposes. But this is giving us the basic background to our setup, and then we move on to the exciting part of making the chart more tradable. Number 5 there, indicators. Trend, volatility, momentum. We've got our 20-day and 50-day moving averages, 2 different types there, exponential and simple. Volatility using Bollinger Bands, standard inputs. Then we've got momentum, the RSI 14, standard inputs again on that. Again, telling you what each one of those does. And then number 6 there, add plots. What do I mean that? Add plots. Well, in charts, when you create these type of things, often when you get an output, some of the subframes, like if you're looking at a standard chart, say on your trading view, you have a separate part for an RSI and a separate part for a stochastic, and often when you're writing the code, they often overlay themselves and become a complete mess. So this helps separate out the chart, so RSI and volume have its own separate window that they can be visualized from, and you can see that all in the code. And then we move on to number 7, which is the style and the final plot, getting those 3 clean panels, like I said, price, RSI and volume. We're building that final chart, as you can see there, with the code, and basically we're almost to the end. It's all pretty simple. We want to then lay out where we want to see our output, and what I've done here is just basically say I want to see it in the screen here for the purposes of this video, and then it's just a case of running the code. So on the top right, we've got a little play button, easy way to run the Python file. We hit the run button. You can see there in the PowerShell at the bottom the code processing. We can tell whether it's worked from our code. If we got any error messages, they would pop up in here as well, and we could address. It looks like it's working nicely, and voila, there is our finished chart. Look at that. Tesla over the last year, we got volume at the bottom, we've got our RSI, we've got the Bollinger Bands, we've got our moving averages across there, we got the axes all set out very nicely in a title as well. So there you go, that simple bit of code, about a couple of hundred lines of coding, has produced a very nice bit of output. Now you might be thinking, well, that's good, that's a nice stock example. What if I'm a futures trader? Where do I get the data from? Well, I've done that video for you. You can see it on the screen now. I'll put a link to that at the end of this video that you can follow and watch. Basically, it's showing you how to get the data out. It's a different world, futures trading, how to get the data out from that world cheaply, effectively, the best quality, with the resources that you would want to be using. So like I said, really important if you are a futures trader wanting to develop out your own Python trading program. So please do watch that one. And now something I'm really quite excited about, coming out January in 2026. If you're really interested in taking your trading to the next level, want to learn Python for trading, whether you're completely new to it through to a trader who wants to get into the world of coding, this could be the course for you. Head to my website, www.TheStopHunter.co.uk, go to the tab Python for Trading. Again, I'll put links in the description below this video if you want to follow there. But on that page, it's got all you need to know about the course, what it's all about, who's it for, how it's broken into 3 parts. The first part just for people who've got no Python experience whatsoever. Then stage 2, more about turning it into trading systems, tools, indicators, back testing your own trading systems. And then finally the third part, all about machine learning. You can see the full contents here. If you download that there, you can see everything's got an exercise, a test to it. You can see there's the basic part there. Python for trading systems. We've got visualizing market, getting market data, technical indicators, back testing, risk and performance metrics, Monte Carlo. It's all in there. Special projects to build, and then a big look at machine learning, which is really an important concept to take hold of. But the big offer at the moment, first bunch of students, first 100 seats, I'm going to give it away at £119. It's normally £199. So if you get it now, before those 100 seats go, you've got an £80 saving on the course. And on top of that, you can get your hands on one of my books, the Samurai Trading Code or the Renko Chart Trading Revolution, for free with that cost. It's the ebook PDF version. You buy a course and I will send you across straight away the book of your choice, and it's finished off the page with some FAQs, but all the information you need to know is on there. Really looking forward to launching this course, nearly finished building it. It's going to be a good one. Like I said, if you want to take your trading to the next level, this certainly could be the course for you. So there you go, we've quickly seen how to put together your first candlestick chart in Python. A lot more straightforward and easy than what you might have initially thought. You just go to somewhere like Yahoo Finance, take the data, use some of the preloaded packages that we've got in there for you to use and manipulate and come out with the outputs that you want. And before you know it, you've got a fabulous looking technical analysis chart with indicators on it, all very tradable. And I will be producing more content that shows you how to take this to the next level. My next video is actually going to show you how to do a simple backtest. We're going to take this Tesla example, and then we're going to create the signals around it, and then some very simple backtest results, so you could quickly analyze whether your strategy is a good one or not. And you can see how very quickly you're becoming a pro grade trader just by adopting these simple processes. So I hope you liked today's video. If you have, please give us the thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and bell notification buttons for plenty more content coming your way. Don't forget the video on futures data, very important if you're Python coding, to get the right quality and at the right price. The data that's there, and also that Python course, links in the description below. We'd love to see you on that in the new year, and don't forget the special offer running at the moment. So thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon in the next video.